Okay, our next story is a bipartisan. Is actually some really good news, especially with knowing that the war in Afghanistan is about to wrap up. That hopefully, if this is implemented, we never have another war like Iraq and Afghanistan again in our country's history. So it says bipartisan group of senators unveils legislation to bolster Congress's foreign policy powers. Um, in Washington, the CBS News reports a bipartisan trio of senators um, are have unveiled legislation to bolster Congress's role in foreign policy, seeking to correct the balance of power between the legislative and executive branches after decades of deferring to the president on national security matters. The bills by Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat from Connecticut, Mike Lee, a Republican from Utah, and Bernie Sanders, independent from Vermont, who caucuses with Democrats, would require the president to consult with congressional leaders and obtain congressional authorization before exercising certain national security powers. If the president acts without such authorization, there will be an automatic funding cutoff for the operation after a set number of days under the proposal by the trio of senators. Murphy lamented in a statement that the House and Senate have over time acquiesced to the growing unchecked power, often unchecked power, of the executive to determine the outline of America's footprint in the world. Before it's too late, Congress needs to reclaim its rightful role as co-equal branch on matters of war and national security, he said. Called the National Security Powers Act, Lee said the proposal will ensure Congress is no longer ignored in areas where the House and Senate are granted broad powers under the Constitution. What he means by that is that only Congress can declare war. That's something that people forget a lot because we've been in a country so long that had unchecked power for the executive branch and for the president that they could basically, it was a precedent that they could wage illegal wars without the permission of Congress, and do so indiscriminately. And that's been at least to my knowledge since 2001, since the George Bush administration, where they really decided, and honestly the American people also decided in a way, that their feeling of security was more important than their freedoms. That the fear outweighed the common sense. And when that happened, things snowballed. And I'm glad that they're finally starting to kind of get it under control. And of course Bernie would be a part of this bill. I am really glad that hopefully Congress can take back those powers and we won't have another illegal, immoral, and drawn out war like we had with Iraq and like we had with Afghanistan. You know, we were waging secret wars. People don't even know. We were waging secret wars all throughout the country, all throughout the world. Black Ops Special Force wars. And none of them get approved through Congress. So this is definitely something that needs to change. And I'm glad this bill is put up.